This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's continue, guys. Okay. So in the last class, we had discussed till some point, till the features of Scala, and we have discussed about system requirements, and also we have discussed about what else we have discussed. What tools we need to download, and we should start working on all this. Okay. So fine, that is fine. And I told you yesterday what you have to do if we should work with these tools. So first, let us prepare our environment and start understanding the fundamentals of Scala. We are doing from very scratch. And one thing, the advantage here is that if you follow this from the very beginning, then it's easy for you to work with other languages as well, because we are doing from the scratch. The fundamentals of any programming is same, and we also do some logic building sessions that will definitely help you to master your fear of programming, because this is what I am seeing from past 14 years. Started when I started my career as a trainer. The most scary thing to the people is writing code and implementing logic. Even no, one thing I'm not taking much time here. See, when you start, logic is not something too difficult, because if a person like me is able to do code today, then everybody can do it. You know why I brought this statement is I didn't thought to be a developer first thing in first hand, because I wish to become a manager. I like to do my MBA, and I am very poor programmer. And in fact, I can say that I never thought to give any try to coding. But when I started doing my master's, Master of Computer Application (MCA), there is a necessity for me, because I have anyhow I should become a software engineer. So then I understand. Then it is very difficult for me, the data type, or the even the for me sum of n numbers is very difficult program in the beginning stages. But later on, when you keep understanding and when you keep applying, what I understand is once we get a clear fundamentals in any language, it's not Scala, then it is easy for us to work with, to apply those fundamentals anywhere. The problem is having proper understanding of fundamentals. So point is, if you really learn basics and implement them, then here itself, then I can tell you are almost good with Java or Python or any other language. But there will be here and there are some syntax differences. That's all. Okay. So this is a scratch level programming. Just focus. That's all. Now, coming back to the point, what should we do today? What is our agenda? Just you just follow me, because to learn Scala, you don't need to have any sophisticated environment. The point is, you need to just download JDK first. What you do is and then after that you need to download and install Scala, and then download Eclipse. Eclipse for usually nowadays we have directly Eclipse for Scala. What do we have? Eclipse for Scala. This is very useful. Even people use this in industry. Or otherwise, we can add a plugin to this existing Eclipse, other Eclipse versions. Anyhow, we can check with that later. First, let's do one thing now. Prepare environment for Scala. And how do you do that? First, all of you just keep doing along with me. Make sure you are ready with Scala. And if you don't have that, still you have online tutorials available, online labs available. Okay, you can even do coding with online labs as well. Still, if you have issue, what do you do right now? First, download JDK 8 or above. This is important. Okay, you can download 7, but nowadays it's almost 8 became the standard version nowadays. Okay, so what do you do right now? You just keep doing with me. I'll give some small time. I'll give some time and slowly moving step by step so that today I don't want anybody have issue to set up this environment. Okay, because while I was doing this Cloudera distribution, when I was trying to install and show you Cloudera distribution, as you need more resources for that, it is not easy for everyone because first thing system should support when you are doing some installations. Sometimes installations will be little difficult, but there is nothing in that actually. Even for me also, when I do something in the beginning, it is difficult, but later on it becomes very simple. So that's what you have to do. For this, you don't need any high configuration or like that. Minimum configurations are enough to work with Scala. So what do you do right now? Open Google. Just open your Gmail and then type here Java 8 download for Windows, whatever it is. Mine is Windows 10 and it is 64-bit. I download that. If it's 32-bit, you download that. Is it clear, right? What you have to do? Go to browser. I think you are following, right? I'm, I'm going very slowly, so it's easy for everyone to follow. And then click on these downloads. Okay. And what you do is already I have most of the downloads, but still you can see here it's showing Java SC development kit, and there are different versions available for different operating systems. You have a version for Linux and you have a version for Mac here. Okay, and then Solaris and then Windows. You can see at the end. You download this. The latest should be I think JDK 10. You don't need JDK 10. And go and download Windows 8 here. This one. If it is 64-bit, download this. If it is 32-bit, download this. Okay. So if you want 32-bit, if your operating system is 32-bit, download this one. If you're operating the 64-bit, download this. Okay. And just select this and then okay. You have to select this license agreement, and then click on download here. Then your software will be automatically. It is asking for sign on. Earlier this is not there, but nowadays I think they have added this. Okay, but anyhow, fine. If you have credentials, sign in. Otherwise, you can download from other sources as well. I think I have credentials for me. What do you do right now? Just say Manohar dot. Just give your credentials. If you don't have credentials, you can just create an account and download. That is also possible. Otherwise, there are other sources also. It's not just Oracle. The softwares can be available from different sources. I don't know whether this password will work or not because I have used it long time back. You can see here the download has started. Can you see this now? So that is what you have to do first. What is that you should do? Go to Oracle downloads. Okay. And then choose what is that? A download for your operating system based on the bit of your operating system. And then what do you do right now? Then after that, if required, it will ask you to sign in. Just create an account and quickly sign in and just download it. You can see the download is almost done. Okay. I just need 20 more minutes. Just 10 more minutes itself. Sorry, 10 more seconds. I'm sorry. Once it is downloaded, what you have to do? Just you need to double click on that and just install it. That's all what you have to do. Following, right? All of you are doing? I'm just giving you 2 minutes time to download this, okay? Today I want you to completely set up your environment. Very important. Okay. Just take 2 minutes time. Download it first. And once everybody has downloaded, tell me download is ready. Then we'll do the installation. So did you download your JDK, all of you, sir? All of you downloaded your JDK? Okay, sir. Once you download your JDK, sir, can you please tell yes or no? Did you finish downloading JDK? Just give me an yes or not.
Yes.
Okay. All of you, right? See, we are going to do practice in the session itself, okay? And this will be more like implementation based sessions. So what you have to do is you have to have environment ready. Okay. So what you do is double click on this. Wait a minute, no problem. Take your time. First you download it. Now, meanwhile, just observe this. You don't need to do anything after downloading. Already I have this Java software with me, but just to show you that how to install. Anyhow, all of you know. But still, if anybody has any doubt, not to have that problem, I'm just again showing you. Okay, just double click on it. You can keep it in some D drive or E drive because downloads have so much of nonsense, isn't it? So you have to keep it into the D drive or E drive. Just click on your exe file, double click on that, then and say yes here, and then let the setup come. Okay, and just say next, and just say next. You don't need to do anything, sir. 1.7 is also fine, but again, the latest version works on 1.8 RAM. 1.7 means again you have to go for accus and download the old version, which is compatible with 1.7. Why again all that time waste, right? Install the latest one so that it's easy for you to install latest version of Scala. Got it, right? And also one more thing is, suppose I need certain features from 1.8, 1.7 doesn't support. 1.7 doesn't support, okay? But 1.8 supports the previous versions as well. So that's why having latest is best thing for us. Okay, you keep that like that and come here. Don't close it. When you come to this point, still it is in progress. Okay. When you see the second window, don't think that you should close this. Come to the second window and click on next here. Okay, it is installing JRE now. So far it has installed JDK. So what you do right now? Click on next. Yeah. Without installing JD Java, you cannot install Scala. Keep in mind, okay? I will explain that today, why it is like that. I told you yesterday something called interoperability. Scala runs on top of JVM of Java. Means if Scala is running on top of JVM, then first you should that JVM must exist. Means we should install JDK first. Okay, my installation is successful. Okay, now what you can do to check whether installation is successful or not, you can come to the command prompt and you can test from here actually. You can say javac and Java. Okay, so if these two are working, it is fine. Still, it's not nothing to worry to work with Eclipse. Okay, if you don't see also, one thing you have to make sure is the installation is done properly. And how do you check that? Go to C drive and go to program files. So I am verifying whether the installation is successfully done or not. Okay, so go to program files, go to Java. Can you see here now? In this Java folder, don't worry, I have installed two different versions here. You can see here 8_221, 8_241. Fine, no issues. We can have multiple versions, nothing to worry. But the point is, usually it will take the latest one, latest version, and you can set class path for any version, one version here. So fine, that is fine. Don't worry about it. Now here, usually we don't keep two latest versions. We just keep something which is the latest one. So that is nothing to worry there. Now the point is, leave about all that part. Now when you install your JDK, you should find two folders, JDK and JRE. If you have only JRE, then installation is not correct. If you have only JDK, still installation is not correct. Now might be can ask you what is these two folders here. JDK means Java development kit. It has all this inside this. All the different tools to develop your Java program. That is what we have in where in JDK. JRE has JVM and it has all the runtime libraries. So that is JRE. I think you are following, right? So anyhow, this is not a Java session. This is Scala session. But I am just giving you the minimum fundamentals just to understand what is that when you install Java, what should be there in Java installation folder. This is the path here. You can see the address bar here. It is clearly showing. You can go to that path and check whether these folders are there in your machine or not. You don't need to. I have installed two, okay, because just to show you how to do the installation of JDK. Now, once this is done, even I have gone to command prompt and validated that whether my compiler is working fine or not. This is Java is for compiler, Java for JVM, and my JVM is working fine or not. You can see when I say Java, it will show that some kind of history here. Don't worry, just see whether it is working or not. If you are getting some summary here, means it's working fine. And even if you don't get that, you don't need to worry, because sometimes when you install, you need to set class path and path. But for now, as you are going to work with Eclipse, even if you don't set class path and path, nothing is going to happen. Okay, that is one thing. Prepare this. Then after this, what you have to do? You have to download and install Scala software. Okay. So now you do again type here download. First, you should install Scala. If you directly download Eclipse and start working, it is not possible. First, you have to install this core softwares. Then you should start working with the remaining Eclipse or intellij or whatever the tools you want. Download Scala. Okay, latest version. And this is your actually the official website for Scala. What is that? Scala.lang.org. Click on that. Okay, it might show you the versions available for us. You can see here there are so many versions. I just need an exe file. That's all. I don't need a what is that? Something it is showing here. What is that? Download intellij. Directly it is showing us what is that? It is showing us this intellij or SBT. I'll explain the differences while discussing Scala. What is SBT or what is intellij is anyhow. It's your software. It is a tool actually to develop your Scala. But before that, you can see here. First, make sure you have Java 8 JDK installed. Before you install Scala, Scala people itself are telling what is that. First, go and install Java here. That is important. And even they were giving links to for us. Don't worry, we have already done that. We downloaded. Then install Scala either by installing IDE such as IntelliJ or SBT. They didn't mention Eclipse, but even in real time, Eclipse is the most popular IDE people use in the industry. Okay, but you can work with everything what you wish, whichever you are comfortable. Now, other ways to install Scala, you can see here. I am not going to use both of this, but what I am going to do, I am going to download from here. So you can see here, download Scala binaries. 1 minute. You can download for Mac here, and you can download for remaining things. Just click on this. You can see it is downloading MSI. Okay, let me see if it is installable one or not. If it is not, then I will try to get installable Scala version. Already that is there in my machine. I have installed it. Okay, if you have a doubt, I will show you. If for me Scala is there, I have installed it, but I am showing you people. If you just type Scala, it will show you Scala prompt. Means what is that? My Scala is there. I have installed even the version 2.11.8. That is the version I am using. But anyhow, not let me install the latest one. So this is installed. This is executable. You can see this. If you see this TV kind of picture here, means it is an executable file. So what you have to do right now? You have to download Scala binaries for Windows if it is Windows, and for Mac, I think you have something else. You have to directly apply some command from the command prompt sudo port install Scala 2.x something. Even for Linux or Unix, there might be some kind of what do you call commands available. Please check that, because most of you are using Windows. You directly download that binary, and if you want other releases, somebody is asking me if it is 1.7 Java, what should I do? You have to go to previous releases and see which is compatible for 1.7 and just download that. They will mention at the beginning itself it is compatible with which version of Java. Here, the one which I am downloading, 2.13.1, is compatible with 1.8. Suppose if you are installing 1.7 Java, check which Scala is supporting that, and each version will show you on top of that the compatible version of Java. Okay. So what I should do right now, again click on this. Oh, you can see this. It is saying what is that? Another version of this product is already installed. Installation of this version cannot continue. To configure or remove the existing version of this project, you would add or remove. So I have to do something if I should install the latest one. Go to the control panel. Okay, what should I do now? First thing, all of you downloaded this. Did you download this Scala? What you have to do? Just say Scala.
Yeah.
Okay, what you have to do is say Scala latest version download. Okay, go there, and here you can see this, and come down, and here there is other ways to install. The download Scala libraries for Windows. Click on that; it will download a version for you. Okay, what's Srikanth following? Srikanth from Chennai. Krishnan. So what do you have to do after that? Then you should for you, I think it will install directly. Once you download that MSA, double click on that, just say next. Okay. For me, I have already installed a version in my machine. So what I am doing is I am going to control panel, programs and features. And here add or remove programs are here. And I am just removing Scala from my machine. You can see here Scala language distribution. I'm just saying, okay, yes. Okay. My Scala is getting uninstalled now. And I'm going to again reinstall it for one. Click on yes. Okay. It might take a couple of seconds. That's all. Nothing more than that. It is done. Now you go to the downloads and try to install whichever you have downloaded right now. You can see here Scala. Double click on that. You got a setup window. Just click on next. I think you are following, right, guys? You are doing with me or just observing it? Okay. Then click on next. Click on next. Click on install. Just wait for one minute. That's all. Nothing more than that. Then the installation will happen. Then your Scala is ready. And say yes here. You are practically observing the steps here. After this, we'll talk something and then start doing our fundamentals, Scala fundamentals. And prepare your machine. For this, you don't need to have high configurations. But those who has CloudX Lab and you start working with CloudX Lab, you don't need to do anything. Just go to the CloudX Lab, open that prompt and just type their Scala. That's all. Whatever I type in the command prompt here, you just do the same from CloudX Lab as well. Okay. And click on finish. Now my Scala is ready. Now close this window, exit this, open a fresh command prompt. Okay, now you don't need Eclipse immediately, but anyhow, we will download it and start working with Eclipse. We don't need to waste time there. But still, for testing basics, to learn fundamentals and test these fundamentals, Eclipse is not necessary. Eclipse is an IDE which is used for bigger development. But still, we do that because we follow something useful for us. Okay, and just say Scala here from the command prompt. And version has modified here. Earlier it is 2.1.11 point something. Now it is 2.13.1. Okay. Those who are using CloudX Lab, if you don't want to install Scala in your machines, if you feel that you are missing touch with CloudX Lab, go to CloudX Lab, open your prompt there, even command line there. Just type Scala. You will connect it to the Scala directly, and you can start running from the CloudX Lab itself. Same thing. You have the interaction mode like this. But in CloudX Lab, I'm not sure you can have Eclipse there. You can work with Eclipse or not. That is not sure because I didn't explore that. But here in your local machine, you can work with Eclipse as well. And that is what you need to master, because that is what you use in your tomorrow's real-time projects. Okay. If not Eclipse, at least intellij, whatever it is. Now, are you fine now? So we are ready. Can I get S from all of you?
Yes, we installed.
Yeah. Vinod Krishnan, is it fine for you today? Yeah. So this is ready now. What we do right now? All of you are ready with your software? Then let's start understanding fundamentals and let's practice them in the session itself. You do something here, okay? If you want best productivity, if you want to be productive, anyhow, after going home and after session, if you think that we will practice, it's not possible in 90% of the cases, because most of you are working. Even I'm telling you, even if I attend a class and if I come home and if I have assignment, that is very rare that if you have, that very, even if you have determination, sometimes it's not possible because of our office commitments. So you practice in the class itself so that most of your time will be saved, and at the same time, you can improve your productivity levels. That confidence also keep growing. And second thing is continuity. Try to have continuity. That will add another advantage to you, all of you. Okay? Still, you have, if you miss a session, it will be uploaded to YouTube. Try to get it from the YouTube as well. Somebody is asking me where can I find the videos. So this is my YouTube channel, Manohar Learnwell Space Tech. Okay, you can get my YouTube videos from here, folks. This is my website, manoharpapasani.com, and you can enroll here, or you can refer your friends to enroll here. Everything is free, sir. We are not going charging anything here. And yesterday, one of the student is asking me, sir, why the sessions are free? Okay, maybe Krishnan, I hope so. Vinod Krishnan is asking me. See, one thing is, to be honest, if you want to bring something best to the people, okay, there are two ways. Either people should know that we are giving right product to you, we are teaching in a right way. Then later on, of course, once people have that idea, maybe later on we can charge for people. That is one thing. Means it's like a promotional activity, to be honest. Okay. Second thing is, I wish to, no, I cannot keep quiet for a long time. This is a motivation to me to learn new things. So that's why whenever I teach, I explore more to teach. So that's why it is also helps me to upskill myself, to go deeper into the coding part. Okay, that is also one more reason. Okay, and apart from all that, this is one of the most passionate work I like to do. It makes me more happy and satisfied. Got it right, Krishnan? Your answer is this. So now next one, let's get to the. Now what do you do right now? Language fundamentals. But before that, as we have installed, let's test it quickly once. Let us do a small, let us do some small print statement. What is that? System.out.println, a hello world. Okay. How do you do it from command line? Just say here hello. What is this system.out.println means? It is a print statement. What hello here? We have successfully done our first program. Okay. Hello world. But anyhow, let us understand more about this. See, there are two things. Whenever you are working, writing a program, after you install your Scala, okay, we can write program in two ways. One is interactive. The same thing happens for Python. Same thing happens for even for Java. I don't think we have this. And the second one is batch mode. Right now, interactive mode means directly executing your statements from the command prompt itself, here itself. This is applicable for Scala. This is applicable for Python. But for Java, all that you have to write a file and batch mode. And you have to execute that. And even for C also, I hope. So that is one thing. Interactive means directly executing your code from the command line itself, but this is useful only just to test very basic level things. Okay, suppose when you have something really big and when if you want to reuse code, interactive mode is not recommended. This is just only for testing purpose. For a real development, interactive mode is not efficient. So you have to go for using tools like IDEs like Eclipse or IntelliJ or some other tools which are available in the industry domain. Okay, so that's what. This is a simple. What is that? Writing your statements directly in writing and executing statements from where? From command prompt, command line. Otherwise, anything is fine. That is interactive. And usually this is recommended for which one? For testing, not for development. Okay. Next, batch mode means here we use IDs or we write in the form of a file. We write code in the form of a file. Okay, form of a file and run them. And run from either from command prompt or still we can run from here. Okay, I'll show you that also how to run from command prompt. Okay, so but usually in real time we don't do all this stuff. What is that? Executing from command prompts, writing just simple Scala scripts. That is Amirpet style. Okay, that is what people do in Amirpet. But in a real time environment, people always depend on tools. They don't depend on IDs. Okay, sorry, they don't depend on command line. So interactive mode. So, but still, in a learning process, this is good to understand all these steps. Okay, and we write code in the form of file and run from either IDE, from where we can run from IDE or command line. So writing as a script is batch mode. We'll see both. Nothing to worry. We are going to work in both modes. First, we will just see a few things in interactive mode. Then I will show you how to download and install. Downloading install Eclipse is nothing. You have seen. Now we have observed how to download Java, observed how to download Scala. Similarly, just download IDE Eclipse and just if it is executable, double click and say next. But for Eclipse, you don't need to say that is not executable. If it is coming in the form of a zip, just get it and just start the executable file. That's all. Just run that application file. Then it will launch the Eclipse. I'll show you that. Nothing to worry. So fine. Now we have seen a small program as well today. Now I am going to explain language fundamentals. So we start with language fundamentals. I'm starting from the very scratch here. Again, to bring to your notice. So what is a language fundamental? Okay, means first, if you want to master any language, you should know all these variables, keywords, constants, data types, and operators. Okay, and we call all this as what? We call all this as language fundamentals. Following, folks. So now, variable. Let's start with variables, and we'll keep testing all this one by one parallelly, and you also keep testing along with. Okay. So I'll just directly explain what is a variable. Suppose I say a equal to 10, b equal to 10t. I say a plus b, sorry. What is my output here? Everybody tell this. From a second class student or a first class student to the most sophisticated person can answer this question. It is 30. Then how you are going to tell this? Because in place of a you substituted 10. In place of b you substituted 20. You are following, right? Means I am able to recognize 10 by the name of a. I am going to recognize 20 by the name of b. Means a and b are variables which are used to identify a value. So what variable does? A variable is used to identify a value. Okay, that is one thing. And there is a syntax, like for in every language, whenever you declare a variable, we have to follow syntaxes. Syntax is very important. It is a skeleton we have to follow. If you don't follow syntaxes, you get compilation errors. Okay, syntax is a rule which we must apply, and we have to follow that as it is. One thing in Scala is which differs from other languages. When you declare variables, we have two types of variables. It's not like other languages. One is mutable variables. Second one is immutable variables. Even yesterday, we come across this word called immutability and mutability. And I told you, immutability is very useful. Go with parallel programming. So whenever there is a concurrency, okay, thread concurrency, immutable objects are very useful in such cases, so that we can go for parallel programming, and we don't allow to make a change. That's what I have discussed yesterday. So now you talk about variables here. We have two types of variables. One is we declare as var variables, we declare as val. So usually, before going to talk about var and val, how do you define a variable in Scala? What is the syntax? We can define like this. What is that? You have to define variable name, okay, colon data type, and then what is that? Equal to value. Okay, semicolon is not mandatory here, but in other languages like Java, C, C++, you need semicolon because it has its own type inference. Type inference in sense, if you don't put semicolon, if you don't put data type, still what happens? Scala will take care of. I will show all that one by one clearly. So if you just scroll it down a bit, let's start understanding this. But this is not sufficient. For example, if I declare a variable like this, a colon something, don't worry about what is that data type here. I'm just declaring a variable here. Okay, and I'm initializing some value. But this is not sufficient for us. We have to mention whether it is a var type or a val type. Might be you can ask me a question. What is the difference between var and val here? If it is var, if you declare a variable as var, you must use any one of these two keywords before this variable. Otherwise, it leads to compilation. If when you declare a variable as var, they are mutable variables. Mutable means we can change them, we can modify such variables. So these are mutable variables. Okay, means we can change them or we can modify them. What we can do, we can change them or modify them. I'll show you now. See here. Suppose you don't need to understand anything, just understand only variable part, the naming part. Leave about other things because I will explain everything in detail at data types topic. For now, you need to understand what's variable and how to declare it. What are the keywords applied with variable and what is the syntax for declaring it? Just remember. Okay, nothing more than that. So now open your command. What you do right now, you just say a equal to 10. You get an error. Then I say var a equal to 10. Then it works now. Can you see this? Did I use data type here? I told you just now. I didn't use any semicolon. I didn't use any data type. Still, it's working here. This is what we call type inference. But if I don't use data type, Scala internally implicitly adding data type to that based on the type of data you are assigning here. You can see 10 is an integer, so it put an int here after that variable separated with colon. Got it right? But which is the best recommended? What is the recommended way? Declaring data type is recommended so that it increases the readability of the code. What it does? It increases readability of the code. Following, sir? Now enter. You get the same output, but the difference is earlier it will take some more time to run that. Now it will take some less time because earlier it has to identify the data and then it has to assign a data type and then it has to display the result. But this time, as I have initialized data type, so the time to analyze that data and print it will take comparatively less. Okay, got it right? So comparatively less time for us. That's the point. So now this is where you see now I'm modifying a here, a equal to 20. Okay, and then print a. Can you see this now? Now I reassigned a to 20. Can you see this? Why? Because where is mutable. We can change where. But now you see the same scenario. I use val and say a colon int. And here you have to use start. See, for all these data types, starting letter must be uppercase. Why we see in data types topic. Okay. A equal to second 10. You print a. Now you can print like this directly. Okay. This is the declaration. When you declare first, it will just show you your declaration and initialization. You are doing two things in this statement. You are declaring a variable, at the same time you are initializing the variable. And then when you print your variable, it will show you the result. Can you see? When we declare, it is not showing result variable, but when I print, it is showing result 1. That is the difference. You got it right? So it is showing result colon int equal to 20. Got it right? So now we can directly print variable like this. You don't need a print statement in an interactive mode. This is interactive mode. No need of any print statement, sir. It's not necessary. Suppose if you are running in a batch mode, if you are running in IDE, then definitely you have to use print statements. But still, even though it appears so simple for us, so easy for us, interactive is not recommended in a development environment. It is just used only for testing quick statements. That's all. And second disadvantage with interactive mode is it is not reusable. Suppose I want to use a 10 lines of code again, I have to type it everything myself. I cannot just rerun it like a script. Okay. So of course, still you can use it. I don't say for testing and learning, we can go for interactive. Now, do you understand now? I have declared a val here and initialize 10 and I try to print that. That is fine. But now you see, I try to modify it. I am assigning 40, sir. Print it. And you see, sir, this time it is saying reassignment to val is not possible. It's saying error. Why? Because A is val type. I think you understand this. When you declare something as val, it becomes immutable. You cannot modify it. But if you declare it as a var, we can modify it. But usually, if you ask me which is recommended, most of the cases in Scala, we go for val variables, declaring variables as val, unless and until the data has to be modified, you should declare it as val. Otherwise, most of the cases, we prefer to go for val. Is this clear for all of you? Understood? I think it should be very clear for everyone, right? Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah.
So that's about what val and var. What is this var here? Val here, immutable, means immutable variables. Val used to declare immutable variables. We cannot change them or modify them. Okay. We cannot change or modify variables. Such variables are declared as a val. Clear now? Is it clear to all of you, sir? Right? That's about it. There are few rules. I'll quickly just tell you the rules. Your variable, same like Java variable rules. Variable should start with alphabet or underscore or dollar. Okay, that is rule 1. It has to start with either alphabet or underscore or dollar. After that, you can have numbers. After that, we can use numbers in a variable. Okay, that is one rule. Like this. Suppose you can say A, you can say ABC, you can say A underscore BC, you can say A dollar BC. Okay, you can say A123. You can say a underscore 123. You can say only underscore. You can say only dollar. These are all valid variables. But you cannot say 123 ABC. This is not possible. This is not legal. Okay, not dollar. Dollar can be there. If you start with dollar, it is fine. If you don't start with dollar, you can see here. I'll just show you quickly. Okay, what do you do? And press Control plus L. It will just clear the screen. Okay. If you are curious, like what did I do here? Just type here. What do you type? Control CTRL plus L to clear screen. Okay. So now, if you see something like var space, for now I am using var. Okay, but recommended is what? Var space, then 123 a equal to 10 and enter. It will throw error, invalid literal number. If you reverse it, suppose I say a123 equal to 10, still it works. Still, if I want data type, I can mention data type. Can you see this? Is it clear for all of you? So means what is the point here? We should not start with numbers. This is the rule 1. Or we should not start with any other special symbols except these 3. Okay. Point 2, rule number 2, no special symbols except underscore and dollar. Don't use any special symbols except underscore and dollar. Okay. Third one, no spaces in a variable. The same rules can be applicable for identifiers as well. Okay. Means might be you can ask, you told variables are identifiers. As variables are identifiers, there are many other identifiers, not just variables. Your function names, your class names, your type names. Okay, all these are even identifiers. Understood? So whenever it is an identifier, almost these rules are applicable for even for all identifiers. Okay, not just for variables. I think this is clear for variables. I don't want to spend much time on this. Still, we have spent enough time to understand variables. Now I am switching to the keywords. Keywords are built-in or predefined words. Okay, these are built-in or predefined words. Okay, used to declare what? Your certain programming constructs. Like suppose if you talk about decision making, if, else, okay, and then while, okay, something like for, okay, like this, something like case, something like class. All these are keywords, etc. There are many like this. Okay, you have many things like this. Following? Following? So means what? These are all built-in and built-in keywords, predefined, and these are used for certain declarations. We cannot use as we like. One rule is these keywords has to be in lowercase. Always keywords should be in lowercase. Never use keywords as the identifiers. Never use keywords as identifiers. Identifiers means like variable names, class names, method names, type name. Don't use any such names. Don't use these keywords as other names. Okay. For example, if you see here, I say some val space int equal to some 20. Okay. Sorry. Let me take if. Okay. Can you see this? Because int is a class, so we don't have an issue. But if is a keyword, what happened? Illegal start of a simple pattern. Can you see there now? While if is a keyword. Suppose you see here, I put while. Enter. Illegal start. Can you see that now? In Java, in C, C++, C Sharp, int are keywords. Int key all these data types are keywords, so it will throw error in other languages. But in Scala, data types are classes, so that's why you didn't get error. You got it right? If anybody are from Java or other languages. But suppose I'm using a keyword as variable, you can see an error here. Okay? So that is what I told you. See, I am not telling all this. See, this is already there in the documentation or in some books or in some websites or in some YouTubes. But what is that? We are just understanding it in a proper format. That's all. Clear, right? So that's for this one. Got it right? And constants we'll take it tomorrow. It will be good to start tomorrow so that it will be a fresh topic. There will be a connectivity from constants to data types. Okay, and then to operators. So that's why we'll make it tomorrow. But so far in today's session, what did we discuss? And also we'll see the installation of Eclipse for Scala in next session. Okay, when we move a little further, I will also show you how to download Eclipse. You can just type here Eclipse for Scala. Just type it. It will directly take you to the this Scala IDE for Eclipse. You can see here, and you can download it directly. Just click on download ID. This is for Windows by default. Check which version you need. It is for Mac, or if it is for Linux, check it and download. By default, this is for which version? This is for which operating system? Windows operating system. You just need to download it. Even I can do that now. And here there were so many releases. You can see here. Okay, I need for Windows, and it is there for Mac as well as for Linux. And it is recommending to use JDK 8. If you don't have JDK 8 for this, it won't work. Okay, just click on it. There is a zip here. Okay, it will be downloaded. Unzip it. You don't need to do any installation. Just unzip it. There will be a application launcher. You should just double click on that. That's all. The Eclipse ID will automatically start. You don't need to do anything. So anyhow, I'm just showing you how to download Eclipse from this official website and keep it ready. That's all. I keep it ready. We'll see it in next. We'll explore this in next session. Okay. So to summarize today's session, what did we discuss? We understood how to install JDK, how to install Scala. Then what else we have discussed? We started language fundamentals and we started with variables. And I have quick questions now. What is that? We can declare variables in Scala in two ways. What are those two ways? Or what are the two different you have in Scala? Just type in the chat box. Please type in the chat box. Answer your give me your answer in chat box. How many types of variables are there here? Okay. Okay. What is that? What is that? Yeah. Those who have little patience, keep answering. Okay. Okay. Those who, or at least you can just memorize in your memory. That's fine. If you don't answer in the chat box as well. So what are those two different types of variables here? Val and var and val. And var is for declaring what type of variables? Is it mutable or immutable? Somebody gave me. Okay. Val is for mutable. Val is for immutable, right? So that's it. Next one. So we have seen explored everything, point by point everything, and you also keep testing with me, sir. Whenever I am doing things like this, just don't wait me to ask you to test it. Okay? When I'm showing this, just you can keep testing parallelly with me, so that you get better idea, and make sure your setup is ready when you come to the Scala session. That is very important. Okay? Right, I will download, and today probably I'll upload all the different videos, whichever is pending from last 3 to 4 sessions, and I'll keep it ready for all of you, so that you can go through the installation steps, or you can even forward to your friends as well. Okay. Any more questions from your side? Maybe within next 1 or 2 sessions, we start programming. We start doing coding in Scala. We start with the basic fundamental coding. We'll slowly improve the complexity. Got it right? Any more questions? Okay, fine. So please share this with your friends, guys. Maybe those who are interested to learn big data, Scala, at least Scala is useful as a programming language. Okay. Shall we stop here then? Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
sure.
Thank you. We'll meet again tomorrow. See you.
Thank you.
Yeah.